What's going on, guys? It's Brandon back here again, and I've tried to film this video for about 2 to 3 times now, and my camera just keeps freezing, so I have to keep redoing it. So today we got the Metro Division predictions. I did my Atlantic predictions, I did my Pacific Division predictions. It's time for the Metro. So let's start off. In 8th place, it's pretty universal what everyone thinks. Let's start off with the Philadelphia Flyers. John Tortorella coming out today and saying that there is a locker room issue and he's talked to players, personnel, management about it. Shows that there's already a problem. And the Flyers haven't really done much to get better. They've kind of doubled down on this group, that Ristolainen deal, for whatever reason that they made. Of course, they've got guys like Cam Atkinson and Kevin Hayes that can play well. But it would have to take a lot of bounce-back seasons to be able to get Philly back in the playoffs. Yeah, that's really all I have to say on Philly. And number 7 in the division. This is a hard spot, but I'm going to have to go with the New Jersey Devils. They got Andre Palat, of course, Jack Hughes, and Heesh are going to be better. But this division is so good that there are so many good teams that New Jersey could definitely be a dark horse candidate to make the playoffs. Maybe they can oust some of the older teams like Pittsburgh and Washington, but and the Islanders. But it's kind of just how I see it. I see the Devils finishing 7th, and it's kind of similar to last year. And in 6th place in the division, we have the New York Islanders. The Islanders literally did nothing. I mean, who did they gain out of this offseason? They re-signed a couple guys. Can't think of anyone they gained. They kind of just doubled down on the group. They were supposedly in on Kadri and in JT Miller, and they got none of them. So that's really all that there is. They were also supposed to be on a Gaudreau. They didn't get him either. So Islanders, another year, another go-around. If this team doesn't get back into the playoffs, it might cost Lou Lamoriello his job, but we'll see. In 5th place in the division, feels like we're really speeding through here. I'm not sure. We're only 2 minutes and 30 seconds into the video, and I feel like I'm already halfway done. But, yeah, so we have Washington. Washington is getting older. They're going to be without Backstrom, their first-line center. Of course, Kuznetsov can step in that role, and of course they acquired Dylan Strome, who can also move in. But Washington, it's getting to the point where they have had a lot of kicks at the can. They got it once, and they're getting older and older team. And it's going to be once Ovechkin's going to keep scoring, and even though that he's going to keep scoring, this team is going to have to find ways to win games that are better. They're going with a whole new goaltending tandem in Darcy Kemper and Charlie Lindgren, I think it was. And so we'll see if their goaltending can help them, as last year Samsonov and Vanacek were not great. Vanacek, I thought, played better, but they seem to have more faith in Samsonov. And both of them are gone now. Samsonov to New Jersey, and Vanacek to New Jersey, and Samsonov to Toronto. But yeah, so Washington trying to stay in the playoff hunt. Do I think they got another cup in them? No, but anything's possible until the season starts. At number 4, the team that got the big fish of free agency, the Columbus Blue Jackets. Johnny Gaudreau is a member of the Columbus Blue Jackets for 7 more years. Patrick Laine is a member of the Columbus Blue Jackets for 4 more years. They have to lose Oliver Bjorkstrand to Seattle for picks, but this team should start getting ready to make a jump. They have Gaudreau, they have Laine, they have Werenski in net, and then they have Werenski on the back end. They have Gavrikov. They have some younger guys in the defense that could absolutely jump up. You have Boqvist, Bean, some of those guys. And then in net, Merzlikins, and then Korpisalo. If he has another year like he has the last 2, it's going to be a bad year for Columbus. Merzlikins, if he can keep form, they should be a playoff team. Gaudreau should definitely help their scoring. And Gaudreau and Laine together, if they play together, we might be able to see a 40, 50 goal season out of Laine. And Gaudreau, he had 40 goals on that line in Calgary with Tkachuk and Lindholm. And I don't think he'll hit 40 with Columbus. But whoever's playing down the middle, whether it's Cole Sillinger, Boone Jenner, Kent Johnson, those are the 3 most likely candidates. This team is going to be a team to be reckoned with this year. And I think Columbus is going to be a bit better than they were last year. And number 3, we have the Pittsburgh Penguins, and I have learned not to count the Penguins out. Crosby, Malkin, and Letang are still around. Kunitz and Fleury have moved on a long time ago. Kunitz went to Tampa and Chicago and then retired. Fleury's been to Chicago and Minnesota, and now he's in Minnesota. And he's also been to Vegas. How could I forget? But yeah, Pittsburgh, they keep taking kicks at the can. They bring back another team that's possible has a chance of falling off at any moment. They have, along with that, Brian Rust, Jeff Carter, and and on the blue line you have Letang, Dumoulin, Pedersen, and then it reshaped kind of the other half of it they shipped out John Marino, brought in Ty Smith. The Devils brought in John Marino. That was a good move on the Devils portion. But yeah, the Penguins learned. I've had kind of making this prediction on better to not count them out, but it's going to be up to Jari to have another bounce back, have another great performance. And who was their backup? Oh, Casey DeSmith. He's still the backup, reliable backup, no issues with the goaltending in Pittsburgh, unless they become so like Jari a couple years ago. Number 2, we have the top 2 in the division from last year, and I'm going to say Carolina. Carolina won the division last year. They should get Freddie Anderson back along with Antti Ranta. You got the whole gang there. Aho, Svechnikov, who we're still looking for a breakout year from him. Niederreiter's going to Nashville. How am I thinking? Tara Vinen's still there. Jordan Stahl, the captain. On the blue line, you have Jacob Slavin, one of the most underrated defensemen in the league. Brent Pesce, among other guys as well. So I just can't think of them off the top of my head. I'm thinking of a lot of players right now. But yeah, Carolina shouldn't be in trouble of losing a playoff spot. They're pretty firm in the Metro Division, and that's the one team that I honestly could say you are definitely in the playoffs in the division, the most consistent of the teams. However, I do think there is going to be a team ahead of them, and that is the New York Rangers. The Rangers going to the conference final last year. As I said, the team reminded me of the 2009 Blackhawks. If you don't recall them, the 2009 Blackhawks made the playoffs for the first time in 7 years. They went to the conference final in the first year. They lost in 5 to Detroit. They were completely outmatched. Rangers' case, they have missed the playoffs ever 2020. Let's say they got swept in 2020 by Carolina. Let's say that doesn't count. They haven't made the playoffs since 2017. And then, so they've been 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So 5 years. And they're back with Shesterkin, Vezina winner, who's probably going to win it again. I think that's going to be Shesterkin and Vasilevsky dueling it out every year the way it's going. And the Rangers go to the conference final. They're up 2-0 against Tampa. And then Palat scores with 42 seconds left in the third after they were up 2-0 and they blew that lead, and I knew it was over. I knew Tampa was winning that series after Palat got that late game winner, and lo and behold, the Rangers never won another game that last season after that happened. So the Rangers have some of the heavy favorites in the Eastern Conference going into this year's season. Definitely them in Carolina, as well as Toronto and Tampa, probably the top 4 favorites in the East. But yeah, so let's mark the playoff teams. Rangers win the division. Carolina, Pittsburgh, Columbus. Columbus gets in as the second wild card, I think. I think the divisions are going to be a lot closer this year. Last year you saw Florida with 122, Colorado 119, Toronto 115, Tampa 110, Boston 107, Minnesota 112 or something, 111, St. Louis 100's up there as well. Every team in the East had 100-plus points. Every team in the West but 3 had 100-plus points. I think it was 13 out of the 16 teams in the West had, or 13 out of 16 teams in the playoffs last year had 100 points. I think the divisions are going to even out a bit more. The Atlantic's going to be better. That's a pretty tough division. The Metro, you should have teams like Columbus getting better. New Jersey should be getting better. The Islanders, I think, are going to be meddling. I think this is if this year doesn't go well, they might fall off. And they might be in 7th next year, and the Devils should be moving up. And as time goes by, Pittsburgh and Washington should be going down and down more as they start to go into a rebuild after Ovechkin, Crosby, Malkin, Backstrom, Letang, Carlson, etc. goes, and it's going to be the Rangers, Hurricanes, Blue Jackets, and Devils up there, I think. Probably by midway through the decade, around 2025, 26. But yeah, that's really all I have for you guys in this one. Tell me down below what you think of my predictions. What are your predictions for the Metro Division? One more division left to go, the Central Division, also the hardest division to predict because usually it's pretty cut and dry in the Central how it's going to turn out. But it's going to be interesting this year. And after that, we'll get to the preseason power rankings, and then we'll get back into BFRs once the preseason starts, and it'll be all back to schedule. So yeah, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Comment down below your predictions, as I said already. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I shall see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.